Hello guys and welcome to another Ron Gamer video. This is an event review for the Alliance War Winter's Claw event, which features Krampus, uh, the devil, the Christmas devil as he's so called, and we do see him. So of course this was not a surprise. We were expecting him to be released this week. Now let's go through what Krampus is all about. Now Krampus is a ice champion with an exclusive Titan X skill that buffs himself. So what that means is that you could get Titan. You could get You could get a signature skill which has Krampus's pitchfork, which boosts his Titan damage and health, and grants himself 3 free spells. And how useful that might be could be argued. But you also get a Titan X skill in the last skill slot, which could be, you know, could be Titan health, could be Titan armor piercing, could be Titan damage. So it's quite a good skill if you think of using Krampus as a solo attacker. But I would alter the question, how useful Titan damage or any other skill apart from Titan armor piercing might be against a Valoran defense. If you'll end up getting, in my opinion, a Titan X skill as Titan armor piercing for your Krampus, if you decide to go him, I think you might find yourself in a good position of being able to take down some defenses. Do note that Krampus is an ice Titan, so if you find Krampus without an ice resistance on it, then you could be in luck. So there you go. That's Krampus. Now you also get an opportunity to pick up Erdred, and if you had a look at my earlier video where I reviewed Ranger Titans, Erdred is probably not high up in the skill, high up in either defense or an offensive sort of Ranger Titan. So he's not someone you definitely want to go for. You do get 2 Goliath defensive skill and 1 Goliath defensive X skill, which is good. No doubt it's good. Um, but with the presence of X damage and X armor piercing, um, Goliaths still do not take in, they're still not as strong as you expect. But that said, Erdred is not, could be made very, very good if you manage to get some fairly good defensive skills, and if you'll end up getting, let's say, health. I would prefer getting Goliath's health as the X defensive skill, and with 2 offensive skills for your Grenadiers, you could do some fair amount of damage. But because he is a Ragnar Ranger, there will be the slight disadvantage of not having too many Unak relics that you can put on him to boost those Grenadiers. Okay, so that's what this is. Now the Titan, the event also features some very exclusive relics, I think 3 relics probably to be precise. You get Chains of Winter, the Snatcher's Cage, and Erdred's Jade. Erdred's Jade is actually available pretty, well, not very low, but earlier in the rewards chain. And this is actually very similar to another relic. I think it's called the Hearthstone or something like that. And this one's called Erdred's Jade, and you get Goliath's Poison Resist. Now, coupled with the other relic, you could get some serious poison resistance on your Goliath. So that's a good relic. You also get the other relics are good as well, but the only question I have is how useful these relics are for Krampus himself, because um, Titan and troop ice damage. I mean, if you're going to take in your Krampus, either you're going to take him solo, or you're going to take him into battle with supporting troops. But it's quite unlikely that those are going to be melee troops, and especially not Elythian Imperials. So I highly doubt how useful that is. The other one that you have, I mean, the only the second, the third skill in each of them, which offers Titan armor piercing, Titan critical, could be useful to a certain extent, but I not a terrible fan of these relics to be frank. Now that said, one of the titans that comes to my mind which could actually use these is, in fact, interesting enough, is Calvarax. because Calaverax, with Calaverax, you get your skeletons, which if you have the cursed mask, you're able to get 64% resistance for physical, lightning, and fire damage. With these two relics, the sorry, my video got cut off there. So yeah, so I was talking about these two relics, Chains of Winter and Snatcher's Cage. If these two relics are used on a Calaverax, you could do something fairly interesting, possibly taking down some, high maiden defenses and high probably Hades Grenadier defenses. So that's something to think about. In terms of boosts, as we were told, Jotun and Morga offer the 1.4 boost. I'm glad that I managed to actually get my Jotun from the last event, which was a very interesting finish for me, the last one. I managed to pull a second Jotun, and I managed to do close to 1,500 battles and basically destroyed my entire weekend. But I did manage to get my second Jotun, and the whole plan for him is that he's going to be fusion food for any other Titan that I see fit, being a Berserker class. Um, so it's if you do not have Jotun or Morga was available in the last event, in the last temple pull event, if we can call it an event. So if you do not have any of these, then you could go for one of these other not so commonly found Titans, Thor, Siegfried, Saphira, Malkor. I would have really hoped that they did a 1.2 for, let's say, using any Berserker Titans, but that's they have again gone for very specific ones. Um, at 1.1, you can use any champions and Berserker Titans. Yeah, my suggestion to you, if you're not going to be doing the event, is to go for using any Titan which is in 1.1, even if it's 1.1, use that Titan and get more XP on it, because 1.1, 1.2 is not a massive difference, but 1.2 and 1.4 is a significant difference. So if you do have Jotun and Morga and you're trying to rake some souls and hits a certain goal, then do go for using those Titans. Okay, so let's look at where I am. As you can see, I'm in Alliance, which is 251. We're not really pushing for this event. Krampus is a, he is a good Titan, but in very high level gameplay, I still have my doubts on how good he will be. And getting a good skill roll will mean getting Titan armor piercing, in my opinion, as the last X skill slot. Anyhow, let's have a look at what the rewards chain is. You pick up some frost tokens and bonus tokens. An Adenum is a pretty useful 2-star ranger to actually have. I do see quite a few lands set up. In fact, VP lands, even in high level, sort of high level players, having Adena maxed out with Imperials, and it maxes out prestigious production. So it's a good Titan. Of course, you wouldn't want to use that as a garrison defender by any means. You pick up 100 portal stones at 1250, 1500. You get some frost shield, Malix, another Titan there, another frost token at 2k. So fair few tokens by 2k. If you get to 4.5, you get frost token. Now do keep in mind this event is for almost 6 days, so there is a fair amount of time at hand. Now if you are planning, let's go ahead. If you're planning to go and get yourself the new Titan, which is Krampus at 20k. Now Krampus is at 20k, so if you are planning to do this, then you gotta keep in mind, if you have 6 days at hand, if you can do 3,000 souls every day, then you can bag yourself a Krampus, 3.5 to 4,000 souls a day. That is, you can get yourself a Krampus by the end. Again, depending on what boosts you have, that'll decide how long it's going to take. Now, I will say this though, that if you get a Krampus and you do not go any further than this, the Chains of Winter and Snatcher's Cage, in my opinion, these two relics, Chains of Winter and Snatcher's Cage, are overpriced in the sense that they're good relics, but there are relics similar to those which you could equally use to do what they do. So I would say that if you want to get Krampus just so that you can get him and use him in battle, the relics that are after following those are not something that you must have for a Krampus. He's a champion here, so and if you're going to use him as a solo attacker, any existing relics that you have for 4-star relics, perhaps for defense and offense for an Ice Titan would work absolutely fine on a Krampus. So 20k is certainly doable, and that's what I'm going to try and do. I've been using my Jotun at he's level 21, thanks to some grinding the last event. So I will be going up right till the end, because I think that's what's useful. Anything after Krampus, I'm not really interested in. I already have Orb of Justice, Chains of Winter, and Snatcher's Cage. I'm not really excited about those. And 750 gems for going that far, maybe not. I'll hold off for that. So my goal is going to be to get Krampus, 20,000 souls. So that's it for this event, this review, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. How far are you going to be going in this event? And I hope you like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in another video.